What's going on, y'all? How y'all doing tonight? This is a Monday night edition of Live in the Den. Hope you guys are doing all right. Let's get right into the today's topic. It's going to be Hypergamy Unfiltered. So before we get into to this lesson, before we get into this topic, let's get into the mood. Make sure you guys hit that like button on the way in. Likes are always free, so don't play with me. Hit that like button. Hey, what's going on to the one person in the chat box? I appreciate you being here. You know your presence is always welcome. What's going on tonight? I appreciate you guys for coming in. I appreciate each and every one of you, even though it's all only one person in the stream right now. You know, it's humble beginnings, and you guys know if you are content creators, you guys put the same amount of energy in. If you got one subscriber in there, if you got two subscribers, or if it's 20,000 or 200,000, make sure you put the same amount of energy in for the beginning. So, hey, how you guys doing? What is up, No Revenge Brand? Hey, we're going to get into it tonight, man. We're going to get into it tonight. We're going to talk about a little bit about this hypergamy thing. I know we hear a lot about it in the space, you know, whether you're in any part of the manosphere. It's, you know, you hear about it. You hear about hypergamy, and it's okay. No revenge. You don't have to be a content creator. You don't have to be a content creator, but you know, all too often, you know, people in our community have a hard time putting their all into something, you know, and I'm trying to let people know that you got to put your all into something if you want the maximum output. So, how you guys been doing? You know, how you guys been doing? Just like to chit chat a little bit before we get into it. Before we get into it. Let me see. Yes, yes. No, I was chilling out today, chilling out, you know, doing my research. And first thing I seen today is, first of all, was Cam Newton. I was watching a little football, even though I'm not a humongous football fan. You know, I was watching the things that's been going on with Cam Newton and Colin Kaepernick. You know, it's crazy. Just a year, maybe a year and a half ago, before the pandemic, you know, Colin Kaepernick was all about, you know, boycotting the NFL for the whole knee thing, and now you know he's back trying to get his job back in the NFL. See, this is why I don't really subscribe to the whole internet pro black thing, because they'll have you out there, protesting, losing your job, making enemies, losing friends, and then all of a sudden they circle back and then try to get in bed with the same people that they had you protesting over. What's going on? Let me see what you said. See if I can get this on there. You said you don't care about nothing you got to do with these women. This all entertaining. It is. It is. It's all entertaining, man. It is all entertaining. So I know you guys heard a lot about this hypergamy thing. I didn't even know, for real. I was so out of the loop with this whole hypergamy thing and this whole, letting women know and all this shame, blame, and all this stuff and explain. I really wasn't even into it. I felt like that's something that people that's frustrated really get into. It wasn't really anything that I even had anything to worry about. So it's interesting as I began to really look into it, dive deep, and so we're gonna play around with it. You say at this rate, we have vibrated to what it say collective. Yeah, hey. It is what it is. So yeah, that was the Colin Kaepernick thing. I found that I find that very interesting that all of a sudden we're right back on the bandwagon of trying to get jobs back with the quote unquote massa after you vehemently wanted people to not be or not have anything to do with that organization. When it was the same thing with Will and Jada, 2016 they boycotted, the Oscars, and then 2022 they're right back in there accepting the handouts from the very people that they say that is the oppressor. So, it's very interesting. You guys got to realize that you have to really be your own man or be your own person. Don't follow behind a lot of these people, because a lot of these people will have you stuck like Chuck out there, man. They'll have you stuck like Chuck, leaving you out in the open, and then they'll go out about their business and then expect you to be the ones that should have known better. So it is nuts. It is nuts. So hypergamy. We're just gonna jump right into it because I don't plan on being real long. I just wanted to be, I kind of miss not being with you guys sometimes. So I felt like this was something stirring in my spirit that I had to let you guys know. And this is for everybody. This is for everybody that either does know about hypergamy or just want to just to chill back and learn a little bit about, what I've seen. So hypergamy. What is hypergamy? We're gonna look into what we're going to be doing today. Not very long, like I said. We're going to be the definition of hypergamy for one. Make sure I had this stuff set up right. Make sure I have it set up right. Get that going right there. Make sure I have everything done. All right, we got that going. So, the definition of hypergamy, topic number one is going to be the Great Pyramid. Topic number two is the nutshell. In a nutshell, topic number three is the empirical data. And topic number four will be, what does it take if you are a lady trying to be hypergamous, or you want to really dive deep into that hypergamy thing? That is going to be your part of this, because even though this is a man's platform, we do want you to know something and learn something a little bit, and know that here at Live in the Den, it is a equal opportunity place, and you're welcome to be here. So get this thing cracking. Introduction. Hypergamy. Hypergamy is the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship. Sorry about that. A sexual relationship with a person of superior sociological or educational background. That's what it is. In a nutshell, it's dating up. You hear that often. Men usually date down, women usually date up, and it's okay. It's no shame here. Women, you guys can do what you want to do. I ain't got no smoke for you. It is what it is. Only time I have smoke for you is when it's when the things you do really impact the rest of us and impacts men, and it gets to the point where men have no point but to step up and push back. That's when I push back on what you do. If you want to do what you want to do, that's fine. do it. You don't have any pushback from me, and certainly you won't have any pushback from the guys, that are here live in the den, my den brothers. We ain't got nothing to do. We ain't got nothing to do with you. You can do what you want over there. Keep it funky. Have your time over there, but just know once that foolishness starts to slide over this way, you guys know that we're going to fight back. So hypergamy, it's a natural thing. It started, from you can look at it from the Stone Age era all the way up to the modern era. Women wanted, men for protection. They wanted men that usually, bigger, stronger, and to provide and protect them. And when you go to the modern society, and women don't usually have to, or they're not having to rely on men to protect them from beasts and animals. Men created weapons and things to fight back. And we go into the industrial age and to this modern age. We don't really need to fight back from animals or anything like that. So it's more of a provision thing now. Women have the innate feeling or desire to date up. And like I said, there's no shame. You guys do what you want to do. Some guys can use that as a catalyst to make themselves better if they want to attract you, or they can do sit back and decide, hey, I don't want to do all this fighting. I don't want to do all of this pushing back and forth to get, and all of this let's see, all of this extra things or all of this extra work to get this woman, and decide not to. It is what it is. Some of these things men aren't even going to be able to physically do, like the height thing. There's nothing that can do. There's nothing the man can do if he's born a certain height. There's nothing he can really do about that. So if a woman that's a part of her pergamous program to date up, and that be a man who's 6 foot and above, it is what it is. That's her prerogative, and I'm trying to teach men right here. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't be pissed off about it. Don't fight these women about it. Her want is her want. You know, there's a lot of women out there that you can get. So there's no sense of fretting over a woman who wants a 6 foot tall dude and you shaming her, in order for her to down her hypergamy to accept you. That's weak. That's coming from a place of weakness. You come from a place of power. That inside that you can get the woman that you want if you come at that woman in a certain way. And all women aren't for you. You're not going to be able to get every woman, so it doesn't even matter. But that's what hypergamy is. Simple form of hypergamy, if you guys didn't know, but you should know if you've been hanging around this space for a while. And it's all right. It's all right. I'm next we're going to talk about this great pyramid part. So you guys can see what we're talking about. You got the women's side of the pyramid over here, the pink, and you got the men's side in the blue. This is the lower half, the lower bottom 40% of people out there. And what usually happens is the men try to get the lower 40%. And you say this, really the chances of a man getting with these bottom 40% is low. It is. Why? It is. We're going to get to why, but that's how it is. Just pay attention. Don't even look at what I'm talking about. Just go outside a little bit, because you should be going outside to see these things. You shouldn't be sitting here on the internet all the time and waiting for one of us to tell you, or waiting for somebody to spark it up in you. You should have the want to get out and see this stuff. So what happens is, on the bottom 40% tries to go to I say the 20% of women. And you guys know this is the people that get rejected right here. They usually get rejected. Sometimes, a lot of the times, these are these cases where you have that nuclear rejection and men just get upset and don't even want to approach women anymore. You see that this is even though this is funny, this is real. Okay, on the women's side, that bottom 40% of women try to go up into the top. I say top 20 to 30% of men. Now they can do that. Like I said, women can do it all they want to. You see it all the time. Look at Instagram, look at Facebook. You got women showing booty pictures left and right, trying to attract the men that they want. In this, in the field of hypergamy. And what usually happens is, yeah, they can go over there and do that. But ain't nothing gonna happen besides them getting their back blew out. That's what's gonna happen. The woman is gonna get her back blew out, and she's gonna be left with nothing but a wet butt. That's what it is. Nothing but a wet butt. And and you see that's when you see that really what happens is you get people out there in the community, trying to shame these women into not doing this, and then going down here and getting some with some of these guys, and it ain't happening. It's not happening. So you go over here for the men, the top men. You see this top 1% floor level. Yes, sex, no commitment. You see that? You see that? What happens is, yes, we are going to go down here and get these women because we don't feel like messing with these women up here, because you guys know what happens to these women up here. These women up here usually are the ones that are, PhDs, have PhDs in social work and all that stuff like that. And they usually want these men right here, but these men don't really want these women over here because they ain't feeling like messing with all these women's mouth over here. They usually way overvalued, and they figure their education and everything else should outweigh their body types, their attitude, and everything else. So these men don't want to mess with these women over here. They usually go down here, and they'll blow their backs out too. They'll blow their backs out and then be fine with it. They'll be fine with it. Okay. Top 10% of women. The top 10% of women usually try to go to the top 0.5% of men because, like I said before, they usually feel overvalued or they usually are a little bit overvalued, a lot of it in some instances, and they don't, and they feel like they should get, the top men on the planet. But like I said, they usually a lot of things kind of messed up in here besides their educational value, and those men really don't want to mess with them. So these men at the top tier, they usually try to go, if they want a realistic relationship, they'll try to go with these women right here and usually try to make power couples out of this whole situation. That there is a nutshell is the Great Pyramids, and that's usually how it works. And that's in this whole messed up triangle, these two triangles right here is kind of representative, a representative of what's going on in the sexual marketplace, if you will. You got a bunch of people jumping around, bouncing from place to place. They really don't know their homes, and what usually happens is there are a lot of baggage and a lot of single mothers usually happen out of this because they really don't realize that the men that they want can get whoever they want out of here, especially these top ones. They really won't mess with the women down here because the women down here are usually messy, so they won't mess with the women down here. Simple. And if that wasn't simple, we're going to go over into the pure empirical data. This is the empirical data of this whole hypergamy system. Now, see, you got over here in 1955, right? You got 1955, and this scale goes from boring and ugly to interesting and good looking. See, back in the old days, you really had there wasn't there men, no matter what socio-economical background they were in, they usually could get a woman. It usually wasn't hard for a man to get paired up with a woman, no matter what socio-economic background they had. Why? Because the internet was not made in 1955. The internet was not made in 1955. So there wasn't, you didn't have much choice as a woman, and you had to pick somebody or you just wasn't getting any. You just wasn't getting any. You wasn't going to get them cheeks clapped because back in those days, what was it? You wasn't going to get those cheeks slapped because marriage was a big thing. Now, I'm not going to say that men and women wasn't going, sneaking behind the woodshed and getting it in, because they were getting it in. They were doing it. It's unrealistic to believe that they weren't getting down, because they were. Let me see now. But what happened is, this is 2015. This is the internet era. The internet era really probably happened 10 years before that. But really around 2010 to 2015, you begin to see apps like Facebook blow up, Instagram blow up, dating sites blow up. And what happens? The world is blew right open. So this woman really doesn't want this one man anymore. So, and she's really kind of at the bottom of the barrel. So she really can't go up here with this guy right here. So she really what you hear people say, buying a dog and dying alone, buying a dog and dying alone, but that's only two. That's only a small percentage of the country right here of women. That's only a small select group of the women right here not getting any. What happens though? You see nearly 70, 50, 50, 60% of the men you are not getting any. Look at it right here, are not getting any because these two women right here don't want any, and all the rest, 75% of the women are trying to get 20, 30% of the men. That's what the reality. That's the reality of this whole situation. And this whole thing right here is what is creating the incel culture, because instead of learning how to adapt and survive, like the Darius, no, got my words all mixed up. Like instead of learning how to adapt and survive, like Darwin's theory of evolution would want you to do, you either adapt or you perish and don't get any. Instead of doing that and learning how to do better or trying to combat this whole internet confusion, these guys right here, I'll say these guys right here, maybe these two guys are turning into the incel. That's the incel culture. What's going on with those incels? What's going on with these guys right here? These guys are made up of, I'll say, 30% of the SBE, that shame, blame, and explain. Shout out to Ty City, that shame, blame, and explain community. And this guy right here is the extreme incel. This is the guy who's ranting and raving on internet. One of the guys, like the guy who shot up the subway train in New York, one of those guys right there. And then these guys are right here trying to shame the women, the Instagram women, because guys got to really realize that all of these women right here are the ones on the internet posting ass pictures, right? These women right here are the women that are going to Dubai getting dumped on, right? Those are the women that usually look a little better. Those are the women that usually are really attractive. But it's only so much you can get out of just clapping cheeks. But they're doing what they're doing, and they're all on the internet trying to get these men. So you got these guys down here trying to shame the women into not being fast and loose. Like I said, we're in a predicament now that where the young women are all fast and loose, and then the older women are usually delusional, trying to be fast and loose like these younger women. But they're trying to shame these women into being Susie homemakers. They're trying to shame these women into being Little House on the Prairie, so they can go back to like this, so they can have their fair share. They don't want to work. They just get pissed off because they want the world to be back like this, but it's not happening anymore. It's never going to be like that ever again. The lid has been blew off of Pandora's box, and it's never going back. That's just plain and simple. You guys got to realize that it's never going back. But it is come a time to where you guys are going to have to learn how to adapt, learn how to survive, learn that the empirical data that you're talking about, the shame, blame, explains is going to have to take a back seat, and y'all going to learn how to get some game. Y'all going to have to get some game. And I know people say, "Oh, you don't need game and all this stuff like that." Hey, you guys can do what you want to do, but you all know that a little swag, a little wardrobe will go a long way in this society that we're in now. So you can be the nerdiest dude, you can be the nerdiest tech geek in the world, and still have a little swag about you, a little drip about you, and it'll carry you a long way. It's not just me. It's not just me saying it. Get into some groups, get into it. Find a way to if you're not going to listen to me, listen to somebody else, and they'll tell you the same thing. If you don't trust me, go to somebody else, and they'll tell you then they'll help you. Learn how to dress. Take some pride into your image. I jump on the women all the time, and especially in the community, or in the community, whoever you're talking to, that you're going to have to your image means a lot. We sit here and make fun of these women right here that are making themselves look stupid on the internet, but these guys right here also look like idiots too, and they can do better. You don't have to stay like that, and that's the thing. It's okay to be lost down here, but it's even worse to know that you have all this information and you're not doing anything about it, but staying in that in that little pit of despair. But that's what it is. This is what it is creating, the incel community, the incel culture. You got these, you got the shame, blame, and explainers right here. You got the guys that's not getting any down here, and you got that extreme incel. That's what it is. You heard it here first. So hypergamy. What does it take? If a woman's trying to be hypergamous, fellas, this is what they're going to have to do. This is my opinion. They're going to have habilitation. You guys know what habilitation is, right? Hope you guys know what habilitation is. Let me get it up here so I can make sure that I have the right definition for you. Now, habilitation usually refers to a process that's aimed at helping individuals with disability attain and keep and improve skills and functioning for their daily living. That's what usually happens. That's when you usually see people that are getting rehabilitated and things like that. But there is another definition I have here. You should have had this pulled up already. Move this over here. All right. What we're talking about here is the act and the process of becoming fit or making fit for a particular process. That's what we're talking about habilitation here. We're trying to make, a woman that wants to be hypergamous needs to become or enter in the act or the process of becoming fit for that relationship, or you as a man, start becoming fit. What does that mean? You need to learn how to, keep a home. You need to learn how to, take care of a man, take care of his needs or whatever it takes. If you want to be hypergamous, you need to learn that man and become fit for that process, become fit for that man. You need to be that puzzle piece that makes him whole. Otherwise, what are you doing? Why are you trying to be hypergamous? Why are you trying to date up? Why are you even here in this man's presence if you're not going to be or not going to try to make yourself uh the right fit for that man? Let's see. What's the next one? Why? When you're gonna have a yearning to do, you gotta have a yearning to be in this process or with this man. You're gonna have a yearning for it. What that mean is you're going to have to be enthusiastic. You're going to have to be ready to move around. We better be ready to be this man's uh helpmate. You can't just come into, especially a man who is already a made man, you know, half-assing it and then expecting him to pick you or expecting him to let you be down with him. You're gonna have to yearn to be in this whole process with him or in that process with him. You're gonna have to yearn. Next is P, and then you gotta have to be peaceful. That's a big one. You're gonna have to be peaceful. If a man is doing his thing, he's on his purpose, he's living a good life, he's having a great time just being himself, having this whatever he do. If he's into liking sports or he's into being athletic or he's into being a gamer, he doesn't want you coming into his zone and being a nuisance. He does not want to have a hectic woman in his space. He wants somebody to bring peace. Otherwise, why are you even here? Why are you here? If you're not peaceful, if you're not something that he can come home to and sit down and let his breath out, let that peace out, that all that frustration from having to argue and fight the world for you, for you and for whatever it is he needs in his life. Why would he be there if you were not peaceful? Remember that. He does not want somebody to be nagging him every time he walks in the door. You're going to have to be earnest. You're going to have to be earnest. All right. Hold on. So I had a special one there. All right. You're gonna have to earnest. You're gonna have to be or show sincere and intense conviction. You know, that means you're going to have to show him that you're really there for him, and you're not just there for a meal ticket. And I know a lot of women say like, well, men don't got no money anyway. Black men ain't got no money. You know, American men broke. Why we got to be sincere, y'all? But it ain't about that. A lot of y'all just want a dude that's 6 foot tall and got some good D. If you want that dude to settle down, if you want to try to pull that man and you want him to lock you down, you got to still have to be earnest. You're going to still have to do something. That's half the problem there. Women don't want to have to do anything because they've been told that they don't have to do anything. They can have everything, and all they have to do is come, and then if they come, that should be good enough, and that man is just supposed to bow down to you. But a lot of brothers, especially the ones here in this space, are learning that, hey, you have value. You need to understand your value, and you don't have to just settle just because she's there in your presence. She's a human being just like you, and you guys are going to have to be earnest and to be able to show those guys that you really are sincere about being with them, and that you can move forward in whatever you guys are trying to do. So fellas, make sure that they're earnest. Let's see, rational is another big one. Rational is very big. Make sure that they are rational. Make sure that woman is is not just coming there expecting you to buy Birkin bags. Making sure, and if you don't have the money to buy Birkin bags, let's be realistic. If it's Coach bag, if you got to buy her Coach bag every week, if you got to take her out to Papados all the time, then you know that she's not rational. She's not a rational person. Most people and most men don't have it like that. Some got their bachelor's degrees and making 70, 60, 70, $80,000. Now, is that still not enough for a woman? Now, unless these women are really that delusional and think that this 70, 80,000 isn't a lot, especially for a young man, then that shows you right there that they're not even rational. So make sure that they're rational. And rationality, is knowing how much money is worth, and where it can go, how far it can stretch, and making sure that you can build. Making sure that if you are there and you're trying to save, that they're not hindering you from doing that. They have to be rational. Guidance, guidance and grateful. They got to be willing to take guidance. That's the thing. That's the thing that that's especially now that if you begin to look and seeing this stuff is ridiculous, because especially black men have to come with you know 18 million times more things for the woman to be able to take guidance from him. They won't take guidance from you if you're making X amount of money. Say if you're making the 70, $80,000, like I'm saying, well, if you're making $70,000 or $80,000, they'll all of a sudden they'll want you to be partners. I want you to be my partner. I want a partner. You hear that all the time. Partner, 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 partner. Partner is a fallacy. It's false. Partnership does nothing but put you guys in a place to where she doesn't have to take guidance from you. She doesn't have to do anything but besides bring her money to the table or whatever she feels like. And even then, most women want to be hypergamous so they won't have to spend as much of their money, and they can rely on more of your money, and their money can go to things they want to do, like take trips and all that. So women are going to have to realize and you don't have to realize, you can just do whatever you want to do, that you're going to have to take some kind of guidance, because we see now that you can go to any other race of man that you get into with, and he can have half of what the black man has, and you'll still take his guidance. Men see that. You don't, and some men get resentful. I'm telling you, brothers, don't get resentful. Don't even worry about it. Let it roll off your shoulders. You just be like, hey, I can see what's going on here, and I ain't got to take that, and I ain't got to be a part of that. And grateful. You have to be grateful, because that man, the one I'm talking about, the women here, if they want to practice hypergamy, they're going to have to be grateful, because that man, hey, money is getting tight around here. If y'all ain't paid attention, inflation is up. And anytime a man goes out his way to do something for you, or for him to want you to be a part of his journey and part of his life, you're going to have to be grateful for that. And don't look at him like, well, every time you get into an argument that, well, I don't need you because I got my own money. But yeah, you got your own money, but he didn't have to spend his on you. So you have to be grateful, or you can kick rocks. Now, this is where it usually goes left, and especially in the Black or African American community, because we're going to talk about aesthetics and appealing. I don't like to stick in aesthetics too long, because in reality, everybody has their own thing that they feel like is attractive. But you guys got to realize, let's be real, let's keep it 100, right? Let's keep it 100. If a guy is in a position to where, when you practice hypergamy, you are dating him because he is on a little higher level, whether it's looks wise, whether it's physical, whether it's financial, he's going to have his pick. He's going to have his right to pick what he wants. He's going to have what is the word for it? He's going to have his own. He's going to have his own thing that he likes. He's going to have his own pick of the litter. He is going to be able to pick the aesthetic that he wants in a woman. And if in reality, if he is in this realm of hypergamy, he can pick what he wants. And most of the time, they're going to want what they want, and it's going to be, I hate to say it, a woman that is fit, and it's what he wants. It's had to be appealing to his eye, and you can meet that or you cannot meet that. And the problem is, in our community, in the world, this is really the world. I ain't gonna say our community. This is everybody. Every man needs to pay attention to this, because whenever a man says this is what he likes or this is the aesthetic, he's automatically shown to be he's misogynist. He shouldn't be doing this. He can just should take whatever he gets, or if he doesn't do that, he's just something wrong with him and his toxic masculinity. No, you can have your own. You can have your own wants. You can have wants too. Women say they want a man that has XYZ, the triple sixes. They want all of that, and they have the ability to say that with no pushback, right? Because we know that that's a part of the thing. That's a part of the whole sexual marketplace, is to be able to do that. So you're gonna have to sit back and realize that men have their preferences too. It's not just you. They're going to have, and next they're going to have to be malleable. Now, usually, in the engineering field, in the quality field, malleable usually is a term that they use for metal that is molten hot and it can be molded without cracking. Women are going to have to be malleable. You're going to have to be able to be molded. If you are not everything that this man is want in this journey, he should be able to mold you a little bit in certain areas to be able to fit his life, and then everybody should be happy with that. If you are rigid, if you're not able to be molded, if you're not able to be constructed and into what he needs in his life at that part of time, then you don't need to be practicing hypergamy, because that's going to happen. That preferences, that malleability is very important. And why in hypergamy is going to have to yield. You're going to have to yield. You're going to have to, and women don't really like the term, what is the term? Submission. So we're going to use yield. You're going to use yield. You're going to have to yield to that man in some part. You're going to have to yield. And that's where I said that comes with that part of the whole 50-50. I want a partner deal. It's not, nothing's ever 50-50. And how, I'm gonna put, this is my pushback. How you want to be 50-50, but then you want a man to pay most of the bills? And you do want a good man, a man to pay most of the bills. And how is it that you want for him to pay most of the bills, but then you won't yield? That's having your cake and eat it too. Being able to have your cake and eat it too. You want to be able to have that traditional lifestyle, have that man do a little bit more for you than you do for him in that financial aspect, but then you won't yield to him. And I don't mean slavery, but you need to be able to fall back. And then on the other hand of the yield, what do you yield? What as let's talk about reaping and sowing. If you sow, what is your harvest going to yield? What if you are a tree and he's watering you? What is the fruit that will yield from that tree? You should be able to yield so much more things. You should be able to yield a good relationship, a good understanding, everything like that. Is that a man that is on the level that you want should expect. He should be able to pick the fruit of that tree once he's done watering you. That is the cost of hypergamy. And women don't have to take it, but guys, you got to realize hypergamy is just not, you having a certain thing, you having your house, or you having your stuff together, and her just wanting to date up because you have your stuff together. No, it is responsibility behind hypergamy. Know your worth, fellas. Know your worth. Well, I think that's it for me today or tonight. I hope you guys appreciated it. No Revenge Brands, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you coming through. Everybody else, whoever stopped through, I appreciate you guys coming through today. Everything in this whole hypergamy thing was peer reviewed by John Hopkins researchers, and everything like that. I hope you guys appreciated. Everything here was researched by the best researchers in America on this subject. And I hope you guys appreciated the work. Hey, guys, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it. I'm getting ready to give me something to drink and go to bed. Until next time, guys, I'll see you later.